Hello, hello, my dear followers, my dear friends. Today we'll speak about Oriental mysticism, Oriental teachings, and of course, cards tarot. And I'll do for you my magic spread or spreads with the help of cards tarot. But at first, I would like to speak a bit about interesting topic about Oriental mysticism. You know that Oriental culture is very rich, and even we should say not Oriental culture but Oriental cultures, and in geographical sense and in cultural sense the notion East, yes, doesn't correspond sometimes to itself, because when we speak about East in the sense of geography, we may say, oh, East is India, maybe China, yes, Japan and other countries. But if we speak about Oriental culture, about East in cultural sense, here in this notion we may understand ancient Egypt, for instance, yes. We may say about Arabic world, it will be also Oriental world, yes. And generally about very different parts of Asia and Africa, and maybe even partly Europe, because Turkey, yes, Turkey, semi-Oriental, maybe Western European country, and when we say about mystic heritage of Oriental cultures, of course, here we may think about several aspects. From India will come such a great teaching as Buddhism. You know, it's one of the three world religions, yes, and it means that when we say world religion, it means that this is a kind of religion which is spread all over the world, not only in one country, because followers, yes, disciples of teaching of Buddha, they live not only in Eastern countries but also in the USA, in Canada, yes, you know, a lot of famous actors from Hollywood, for instance, they follow the teaching of Buddhism. So when we say world religion, we mean that thank you, that it's not national, yes, not national. This spread of this religion is wider than among one country or one nationality, yes, because also we have a great number of national religions, such as Taoism in China, Confucianism also in China, Judaism in Israel. It's not only national but also state religion, because in the constitution of Israel it is mentioned that this country has its state religion. Not all, of course, not so many countries have this status, yes, of some religions which were proclaimed as state. But sometimes we can see such examples. And when we speak about Oriental mysticism, we also mean that inside of every religious system we have two parts. One part, exoteric, turns toward outside world, yes. It's something that you can see when you just look at religious ceremonies when you go to the church on, I don't know, some day, Christmas, Easter, other fasts. But you may not understand all the details, what happens there, what priests do, for what purpose. But you feel some. You just take participation in it, yes, in this process. Maybe you have, in some sense, fun. Maybe you have the feeling of that you share something important with all these people, that you come into touch with something sacred. And of course, it's important, yes, for our spiritual development, but in every religious system, always, we have the second part, which is named esoteric part or mysticism. And this part is connected with sacred knowledge, with deep understanding of this world, of some phenomena of this world, according to the some concepts of a certain religious system. And to be involved in this esoteric part of religion, you need to do a bit more than only go and look at ceremonies or go and take participation in some fasts, religious fasts. You need to involve yourself completely into practice. And in practically in all religious systems, especially in Eastern, because you know that Eastern culture has a very, I mean, they are very old, and during many ages, people in the East, in ancient East, they worked on such problems as mind, what is mind, what is consciousness, what is cognition, how we perceive this world, what does it mean to exist, and great experience is contained in such religions. I mean, esoteric parts of them, yes, like Buddhism, Taoism, and other systems. And now, I mean, after the middle of the 20th century, many people from Western countries they have chance to learn more and to understand more about this world and come into touch with all these treasures and all this experience. And you know that daughter of President Clinton, for instance, she had her like private lessons with a Buddhist monk, like spiritual teacher, guru, maybe, yes, how to name, who taught her this esoteric kind of practices. And also some practices of Taoism now are used in study of students in such old unis as Harvard, Oxford. So we see that Western world has opened this treasury for itself, yes, the treasury of Eastern sacred knowledge. And today I would like to speak about this some problems, because of course we can't during one meeting describe or discuss very deeply something, yes, from this sphere of knowledge, but we may come into touch with some aspects. And You know that if we speak about India, now the most one of the most popular religion there are Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, of course, other religions. But India is a motherland of Buddhism as a world religion, because Buddha Gautama was born in India. He was a prince, and I like very much film with Keanu Reeves. Yes, when he was a young man, he played the role of Buddha in his adult age. And that was a film, I don't remember the title, A Little Buddha, if I'm not mistaken, where very nice, the life of Buddha was pictured very nice in detail according to Buddhist legends. You remember that Buddhism is the only religion the founder of which was a noble person, not ordinary man, because the founder of Islam was, I mean, in social sense, ordinary man. He was from layer of traders, yes, and merchants, how to say. And if we speak about Jesus Christ, I mean his earthly way, he also was born in ordinary family, but Gautama was a prince, yes, and his father was a king. Of course, you should understand that in that period, what period? The middle of the first millennia BC, so many ages ago, yes. In India wasn't such a unitarian state as it is now, and that period on that territory, the territory of modern India, different small countries existed, yes, and it was like tribes. In every tribe was that of this king, and Prince Gautama was born in tribe of Shakya, and that is why one part of his name is Buddha Shakyamuni. Yes, that means that he was born in this tribe, in the community of Shakyas. And then after his noble life, I mean first 16 years, yes, of his life, he was in palace. He had everything that he wanted to have, and of course he had, it's very important maybe, yes, he had very good education for that time, because he had teachers, like private teachers. He understood languages and read sacred books. And one day he was married also, yes, with princess, also noble girl, yes, and had a son. But one day he started to think about the sense of life, and according to the legend, the astrology said to his father before he was born that his son would be a great prophet who may make free people from disasters, from suffering, or he would be a great warrior. Of course, Father King wanted his son to be a warrior, not prophet, and that is why he decided to prevent the development of situation, yes, and he didn't allow no one to speak with his son about some philosophical questions about death, about suffering. Only joy and happiness were around him. Only healthy people, yes, and beautiful clothes. Only smiles, only festivals. But one day the prince wanted to go away from, to go and look what is life outside the palace walls, and that is why he ran from the palace at night, just to because he wanted to know what is life is really. And according to legend, he saw several like several signs, several symbols. He came into touch. Oh, hello. He met old person, and in that moment he understood that youth and beauty couldn't be eternal, yes, and all of people have to come to this state, yes, when we not so beautiful, not so healthy, not so young. And also then he met ill person. He was I tried to remember how to name the disease in English. You know, maybe, of course, what I mean. Very very hard disease connected with damage of all skin, all tissues. You know, yes, lepra. That period, of course, people couldn't understand how to cope with this malady, and people who had that malady, they had very frightful, looked frightfully, and of course it was great suffering. And so Buddha was struck by these images, and then the third sign, the third symbol he met on the road, process with tomb, yes, with dead body, and with a coffin, sorry. And he understood that life also is predestined to end one day, and no matter if you're a rich person or you're a poor person, one day you have to die. And the fourth sign, the fourth symbol, the fourth meeting was the most important. So the fourth meeting was his meeting on the road with monk. I don't know exactly who it was. Yes, who was that monk? Because maybe he was representative of. You know, in that period in India, a lot of Shraman schools appeared. It means that different of them. For instance, yoga also is one of Shramanic schools, and it was a period of crisis of traditional Dharmic religions, when people couldn't understand the language of sacred texts, the language of ceremonies, Sanskrit, you know, the sacred language, and this language came to India from people from tribes who came there many ages ago, tribes of Hindu-Aryans, and they were tall, white-skinned people with large eyes. And if you look at modern Indian actors, most of them are people with such appearance, and they belong to this high social layer, yeah, and they connected with their ancestors were those people, and they brought to the territory of modern India not only themselves but also culture, language, sacred language. This language, Sanskrit, became dead language very early. In ancient times, people already couldn't understand it. It is used, and now it is used, and there it was used only during religious ceremonies to speak to gods. But it is very rich, and for instance, in modern English or Russian language, it lacks of words to translate correctly. Only one word, one noun or pronoun from Sanskrit, because in English or in Russian we need to use 10 words just to transmit, to express the meaning of one Sanskrit word. Very rich language with rich meanings, rich senses, and so in the period of life of Prince Gautama, people in India didn't understand the sacred language, and that is why it wasn't so interesting, it wasn't so impressive to take part in ceremonies, yes, when you don't understand what happens around you. And that is why a lot of people try to look for inspiration, look for God, yes, look for something truthful. Independently, they went to forests, they tried to practice ascetic practices. It is a character. Oh, thank you. One of characteristics. Thank you so much for your support of Eastern culture, I mean Indian culture. That great accent has been made on the idea of suffering as a way of cleaning one's soul. And in Orthodox Church now, in Christianity, and in also in Middle Ages Catholic teaching, also we can find this idea that when body suffers, your spirit in blossom, yes, is in blossom. Because, for instance, in ancient Greece, they didn't think in this way. But so about Ramanic schools, and a lot of people just went there in the forest and they tried to find some sacred ideas, using such strict practices, for instance, to have no meal, no drinks, no, just staying under bright sun during all day among fires, yes, so different things they made. And during that period appeared 6 main darshans. Also in Eastern, yes, teaching we have this word. Darsh means, a verb means to see. So it's 6 types of worldview, how to look at this world. And such as yoga, mimamsa, vedanta, sankhya, vaisheshika. So maybe the monk with whom met Buddha Gautama on that road, he was one of such people. And the prince, who was shocked up after that meeting of dead person, of coffin, ill person, old man, he thought how sad this life really is and what to do. But that monk, oh, hello, I'm fine, thank you. We are speaking now about Oriental mysticism, and after that I'll make for you my traditional spread. So, Prince Gautama, the founder of Buddhism, he was struck by the calmly and peaceful, this calm and peaceful face of that monk, and he just thought, oh, how in this life one can be so happy, so steady. So he decided to find out the secret of happiness, how to stop suffering. And he went home, it was early morning, and he kissed his sleeping wife, he kissed his son, and decided to leave palace forever, and went also to the forest. And he several years of his life he spent in the forest, being with those ascets, and also practiced ascetic practices. And he became great authority there, because he was so he was so strict to himself. He didn't eat, he didn't drink during many years, days, and he was so thin that one day he understood that very soon he just die. And but he understood that he didn't know the secret. Yes, he didn't find the secret of happiness, and that is why when he looked a girl from the village who went to the river to get some water, he asked her to bring him nourishes food. In India, rice boiled with milk and sugar is a very popular dish, very nourishing, yes. And of course, girls saw that, like a saint person asked her. Of course, he went very quickly to her house and brought him that dish with rice, with that milk and sugar, and he ate that rice, felt himself better, and all his disciples saw that he was eating rice. They say, "Oh my God, he betrays us. He betrays our way to the truth," and turned away from him. Everyone turned away from him. He was alone with that bowl. Wooden bowl under the tree of bodhi, very popular kind of trees in India, symbol of Buddhism, because according to the legend, under this tree, oh my God, just a moment. Under this tree, he understood everything, yes. And then something happened in with his mind. He, in one moment, in one second, he saw all his previous lives. He reminded that he was a tree, an animal, other people, a lot of lives on this earth, and then he also understood um, Four Noble Truths, and those Four Noble Truths. Just a moment, just a moment. How are you? Where are you from? Oh, something is happened with the sound. Where are you from, my friend?
محظوظة أنا بالأجانب.
Uh-huh. Do you speak English? Birth is suffering, death is suffering, desires makes us suffer, yes, because we always feel lack of something. And also all suffering causes by desires and passion. And the third truth, noble truth, that we may stop suffering, refusing from passionate desires, yes, from this feelings. And this fourth truth, it was truth about noble eightfold path. Why eightfold? Because it contains eight, not stages, maybe 8 aspects. Noble right speech, when your speech is free from bad words, from lying, and also right actions, when your actions don't harm nobody, yeah. Next, right way of living, when you don't steal, when you work and take your money from your work. Right efforts, when you make efforts and that brings you new stages of spiritual self development. Then it's right awareness, when you may look at this world and see it as it is. And also right concentration, when you perceive this reality without passion. And also right thoughts, when you think in accordance with yes, Barsikito doesn't want to listen to lecture. Sorry, I need to let him go because this is his desire. Yes, I can't make my cat suffer. Well, so, and the eighth aspect is right understanding. If you understand these four noble truths, you have this right understanding. So the main purpose of Buddhism is the state of freedom of consciousness from samsara. What is samsara? Is a circle of life and death. When you may come out from this circle of predetermination, and you become free, and your mind is free from all tenets of this world. And this state of freedom, the state of free mind, in Buddhism named Bodhi, and that is why Buddha also his name connected with this notion bodhi. When he literally his name may be translated as awakened one. Yes, all of us are sleeping and see this reality like in Matrix. Yes, in the film Matrix, just our illusion. But those who awakened, yes, they see the real world, and they know that in this reality nothing there is nothing real because when we look at something it's only an image of stableness. Yes, because for instance this table or that wall, we may perceive them as something constant. Yes, but every second, every moment, some parts, very small physical partings, yes, they fell away from these objects, and they can't be the same as previous second. Everything is changed every second, and that is why there is nothing stable in this world. And also we can say the same about our body and about our soul. That is why in Buddhism there is no understanding of personality, because what is personality? We have a constant flow of states of mind. Every second we changed our position, we feel different emotions, feelings, and there is nothing stable. So nothing real, really nothing real among us and inside, but the only thing that exists is total and integral consciousness, one for all creatures. So this is I'm sorry, I need to look through my messages. This is a core idea of Buddhism, and when you understand these things, you stop suffer, and it of course it doesn't mean that you need to be monk, not obligatory. In modern variants of Buddhism, people may live the ordinary life with families, but the main sense of practice is to feel this freedom, yes, to know the sacred knowledge about the world and to act in it with this knowledge. Two people may be simultaneously at one and the same place, but one of them will be in deep sleep, yes, in deep dream, and saw something unreal and suffers, but another one may know this truth and be happy and free. So as you already understood, Buddha is not a name, it's a title, means that awakened person. Yes, so in Buddhism, Buddha is not a god, it's just a awakened prominent human, yes, who gets this knowledge, truthful knowledge. So a lot of Buddhas were before Prince Gautama, and a lot of them came after him, but of course his role is great in the sense that he was a great teacher who opened this truth, this knowledge to other people, because a lot of other Buddhas, they get this knowledge, but they don't make this decision to teach other people, to help them to become free from suffering. And only Buddha, the Prince Gautama, decided to do it. So everyone, not only people, but also other creatures may be happy and may make their mind free from some untruthful knowledges, untruthful notions. Well, it was a very short introduction to Oriental culture, Oriental philosophy, and exactly we spoke about Buddhism.